The blues has many sons, but only one true king. And his name was Riley B. King, although the world would know him by another name, B.B. King, the undisputed monarch of the 12 notes and the 6 strings, the man who turned pain into beauty, and the guitar into an extension of the human soul. Before you start this video, remember to subscribe and like this video. It was December 1949 in Twist, Arkansas, a town so small it barely appeared on maps. The winter chill crept through the cracks of a bar called the Twist Inn, where cigarette smoke formed low clouds that hovered over the heads of the patrons. In one corner, a young 24-year-old guitarist played to a sparse audience, most more interested in their drinks than the music. Suddenly, a fight broke out between 2 men over a woman named Lucille. In the confusion, someone knocked over a barrel of kerosene that served as a heater. The flames spread with voracious speed, turning the place into an inferno in a matter of seconds. Riley bolted for the safety of the frigid night, but then he remembered. His prized Gibson guitar was still inside. Without a second thought, he ran back into the burning building, dodging burning timbers and stumbling over overturned tables until he found his instrument. When he finally emerged, with the guitar safe but his shirt sleeve singed, he knew he had nearly died for it. He would later discover that the fight had been caused by a woman named Lucille. From that moment on, all his guitars would bear that name, a constant reminder of the danger of uncontrolled passions. But this is just one scene in the life of the man who would reinvent the blues. To truly understand B.B. King, we must travel much further back, to the very origins of his pain and his music. B.B. King's relationship with Lucille transcended the anecdotal to become a metaphor for his art. Every strum, every sustained note was an intimate dialogue between the musician and his instrument. "She talks to me, and I talk back," he confessed in interviews. This almost mystical connection explained why, even in his worst moments, when money was tight or when the doors of success seemed closed, he never considered selling it. Lucille was his accomplice in transforming everyday suffering into something sublime, in that peculiar alchemy that only the great bluesmen understand. In the sweltering heat of rural Mississippi in 1925, in a log cabin with no electricity or running water, Riley B. King was born. Itabena, the town of his birth, was a place where dust mingled with the desperation and sweat of cotton workers. His mother, Nora Ella, was a strong woman who raised her son alone after his father, Albert Lee King, abandoned them. Poverty was so absolute that Riley would recall years later eating bread dipped in sugar water as her only food for days. The church became his first refuge. There, among the black spirituals that spoke of suffering and redemption, young Riley discovered the transformative power of music. But there was another sound that called to him, one that the preachers considered sinful, the raw, honest blues that echoed from juke joints and dusty streets. At age 12, after weeks of saving every penny he could find, he bought his first guitar, a $15 Stella that looked like it had been through 3 wars before he got his hands on it. The instrument was so out of tune that even birds wouldn't want to perch near it, he joked years later. But to him, it was a treasure. He learned to play it by listening intently to Blind Lemon Jefferson records and the radio broadcasts of T-Bone Walker, whose elegant style fascinated him. In the evenings, after working all day in the fields, he would practice until his fingers bled, unknowingly developing what would become one of the most recognizable styles in the history of music. If you are liking the video, remember to subscribe and leave your like. In 1946, at the age of 21, with a cardboard suitcase containing everything he owned, Riley arrived in Memphis. The city was buzzing with musical energy, and Beale Street was its beating heart. His cousin, respected bluesman Booker White, took him in and gave him his first professional lessons. "Don't try to play fast," Booker advised him. "Let every note tell a story." Advice BB would make his own forever. To pay the rent, he got a job at WDIA Radio as a disc jockey and singer, where his natural charisma and velvety voice soon made him popular. It was there that his nickname was born. At first, he was called Beale Street Blues Boy, then shortened to Blues Boy, and finally, simply BB, name that would soon resonate around the world. The road to stardom was not easy. On his early tours, BB and his band traveled in a rickety bus that broke down more times than it ran. They slept where they could, sometimes on the bus itself, and ate when there was money. But every night, no matter how tired they were or how small the audience, they put on a show that took people's breath away. It was during these endless tours that BB perfected his unique style. While other guitarists sought speed and complexity, he developed a minimalist yet deeply emotive approach. His vibrato, wide, quivering, soulful, became his trademark. "I don't want to play too many notes," he would say. "I want to play the right notes." And when he bent Lucille's strings, it was as if the guitar was talking, crying, laughing. Success came in 1951 with 3 O'Clock Blues, a song that stayed at the top of the R&B charts for 15 weeks. Suddenly, B.B. King was no longer a regional artist, but a rising star. But the real turning point would come nearly 2 decades later, in 1969, with The Thrill Is Gone. No one, not even B.B. himself, expected The Thrill Is Gone to become a hit. It was a dark, brooding song, with string arrangements that took it away from traditional blues. But when people heard it, something clicked. It was as if BB had captured the pain of an entire generation in 3.5 minutes. The song crossed racial and musical barriers, hitting the pop charts and winning a Grammy. Suddenly, the blues had a place in mainstream culture, and BB King was its ambassador. The years that followed saw him become a living legend. He played with Eric Clapton on the historic Riding with the King, shared the stage with U2 and even Frank Sinatra. He filled stadiums all over the world, from Chicago to Tokyo. But he never lost that humility that characterized him. Every time he took the stage, he thanked the audience as if it were the first time. "Without you guys, I'd just be an old man with a guitar," he used to say. In his later years, diabetes dented his health. His hands no longer responded like they used to, and he had to play sitting down. But the fire inside never went out. "Music keeps me alive," he confessed in an interview. Until the end, he continued to tour, sharing his gift with the world. On May 14th, 2015, at the age of 89, the King of the Blues closed his eyes for the last time. But as he himself once said, "The blues never dies." Today, when you hear a guitarist play with that vibrato that seems to cry, when a single sustained note makes your skin crawl, you are hearing the echo of B.B. King. Because he didn't just play the blues, he was the blues-made man. And his legacy, like his music, is eternal. As always, if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. See you in the next video.